4:17 local time. Northern Gulf. The sea lies perfectly still, flat, reflective, almost deceptive in its calm. Within the carrier strike group, routine governs the day. Sensors hum, watches remain steady. No one expects trouble. Then the radar flickers. In the Combat Information Center, a lone contact appears at the edge of the screen. Clean signal, high speed, unscheduled. The watch officer leans in, not alarmed, just focused. One contact alone means little. 7 seconds later, a second appears. Different bearing, different profile. Attention sharpens. The system doesn't scream danger. It doesn't dramatize. It simply does its job. Correlate, compare, question. The two tracks don't match civilian traffic. They don't match the weather, and they certainly don't match each other. 0:17:20. A third contact, then a fourth. The room tenses, not with panic, but recognition. This is how it begins when it really begins. Not with noise, but with a pattern. On the main display, the first thermal plume ignites along the northern coastline. Bright, sharp, too fast to be anything else. The system tags it before a human can speak. Missile launch. Seconds later, another plume, then another. Different launch points, staggered timing. No attempt to hide. Tracks multiply rapidly. Vectors fan out, curve inward. Software stops calling them anomalies. It begins to recognize intent. Fixed launch sites join mobile emitters. Sea-based signatures flicker, vanish, then reappear closer. This is no longer a question. 4:18. The watch officer's voice cuts through. Multiple launches detected. Across the CIC, consoles adjust automatically. Passive sensors shift to active confirmation. Data links snap open. Escorts tighten formation. Not visibly, not dramatically, but enough to redraw coverage. On the bridge, the captain watches silently, waiting for confirmation. Then, Condition 3. Set and man all key stations. The words ripple through the ship. Steel doors seal. Red lights activate in critical spaces. Sailors don helmets, gloves, no rush. Precision matters more than speed. Below deck, missile cells hum. Power rises. Safeties remain on. Nothing is armed. 4 hours, 18 minutes, 40 seconds. The count stabilizes. 44 inbound tracks. Not identical, not all fast. Some climb high, some cruise mid-altitude, others drop low, disappearing into sea clutter. This is saturation, not a probe. An attempt to stretch the system. Time to impact ticks down. 9 minutes. Electronic warfare teams bring receivers fully online. Every waveform, every guidance signal is captured, time-stamped. Nothing is broadcast yet. Escorts adjust in fractions of knots, subtle headings, shaping geometry with invisible precision. The carrier remains centered. No evasive turns, no speed change. 8 minutes. One cluster corrects course slightly. A low track vanishes entirely, masked by curvature. The ghost vector lingers on the screen. No one relaxes. 7 minutes. The air wing stays chained to the deck. Pilots are ready, but there's no launch order. This battle will be decided long before jets matter. Inside the CIC, voices shorten. Each call precise. Bearing, speed, altitude. No commentary. 44 hostile tracks close in. Beyond routine defense, one officer whispers. The captain nods. Confirmed. 6 minutes. Threat rings contract. Some tracks speed up, others slow, deliberately desynchronizing. The system recalculates intercept windows. No weapons fired, but the strike group is committed. 5 minutes. First tracks cross the engagement threshold. Weapons release is imminent while missiles keep coming. Scattered vectors collapse into defined corridors of threat. This is prediction, not just tracking. Inside the CIC, update rates accelerate. Operators lock into assigned sectors, trusting the network. The first wave separates clearly. High-altitude tracks surge forward. Mid-level profiles follow, disciplined. Sea skimmers disappear into clutter. 4 attack axes confirmed. Northwest, west, southwest, south. True saturation. 4 minutes, 30 seconds. Interceptor assignments flicker, split, collapse. Low tracks vanish, reappear. Micro-adjustments continue across the formation. The carrier remains steady. 4 minutes. Electronic warfare begins targeted emissions. Brief, precise interference. Some missiles react, some don't. The system logs every response. 3 minutes, 30 seconds. First interceptors fully armed. Kill chains built and refined. Each inbound missile has a planned intercept. Timing shrinks. 3 minutes. Interceptors launch. Trajectories intersect. One missile disappears. Confirmed kill. Another follows seconds later. The system moves on. Mid-level waves press forward. Interceptor geometry shifts. Time compresses. 2:15. The sea skimmers reappear, closer, faster, barely above the water. Their signatures are weak, altitude minimal. One slips past the outer intercept window completely. Inside the CIC, posture tightens. Voices are shorter, sharper. Call-outs overlap, precise, never colliding. The captain watches silently. 2 minutes. The second interceptor strikes the previously missed mid-level track, confirmed kill. The system registers the success, but the low flyer remains inside the inner ring now. 90 seconds. Fire control tightens. The next defensive layer comes alive. Sensors narrow their focus. Reaction times shrink to fractions of a second. No margin for error remains. The sea skimmer adjusts course slightly. A subtle move to force a recalculation. The system adapts just in time. 60 seconds. A new cluster compresses from the southwest, arriving together. The system redistributes fire. 2 ships take the lead, a third covers silently. Interceptors leap outward. 1 target destroyed, another hit, but 1 missile survives, dropping lower. 40 seconds. The carrier holds course. The last defensive layer waits, poised at the edge of action. No orders needed. The incoming track crosses the final threshold. The system reacts instantly. Pressure does not ease. The missiles are still coming. 40 seconds. The tactical display narrows to essentials. 1 low-altitude track rides the surface, more absence than presence. It enters the inner ring, where margins are measured in heartbeats. Sensors focus, fire control stabilizes. The intercept launches, late, too late to feel safe. The engagement is violent and brief. The missile shatters, scattering across the waterline. The explosion is low, heavy, felt through steel. A shockwave rolls across an escort deck. Antennas flex, sensors fail, loose equipment slams. A sailor hits the deck. The ship absorbs it. Inside the CIC, the system flags the event. Near intercept, secondary effects. Damage control moves immediately, deliberate, precise. The display updates. No new tracks. Another cluster arrives from the southwest, tighter than before. 2 interceptors launch. 1 connects cleanly. The second detonates close enough to scatter debris. The cluster breaks apart. Confirmed kills cascade. Numbers drop. 44 becomes 30. 30 becomes 12. 12 becomes 3. Each intercept unique. High-altitude missiles vanish far from the formation. Mid-level flashes break apart. Sea skimmers erase so close to the surface, the water itself seems to swallow them. 10 seconds pass. No new tracks. CIC operators sweep every sensor again. Long range, short range, infrared. The sky is empty, but the room does not relax. Confirm damage status, the captain orders. Replies arrive in fragments. Minor topside damage on 1 escort, 1 degraded sensor, 2 minor injuries. No fires, no flooding. The distinction is precise. 4:26 local time. 9 minutes since the first intercept. Across the formation, the defensive wall remains. Weapons and systems stay ready. The carrier moves steadily. Damage control secures the affected escort. Bent railings cut away, shattered sensor housings covered. Injured sailors move below, conscious, already talking. The blast did not stop the ship, it did not slow it. That is the measure. Inside the CIC, the tactical display begins to clear. Confirmed kill markers replace threats. Fire control stops reallocating, nothing left to assign. All inbound tracks terminated, the watch officer reports. The captain nods once, silent. He waits for 1 more sweep. Still nothing. Engagement ends, not with noise, but absence. The strike group is intact. 1 ship scarred, 2 sailors bruised. Formation continues. Defense was not perfect, but it was sufficient. Outside, the sea looks unchanged. No smoke, no wreckage, just open water and steel moving steadily through it. Inside the ships, the difference is understood. The attack tried to break the system. It didn't. It bent, absorbed, adapted, held. Missiles stopped. Strike group never stopped. The countdown clocks go dark. Transition out of engagement is deliberate, slow. Systems step back in layers. Fire control moves from automatic to guarded. Sensors widen focus. Nothing is assumed. Nothing rushed. Inside the CIC, noise changes. Not louder, not quieter, just different. Fewer alerts, fewer call-outs, more space between words. Someone exhales. It's not a signal, but it is felt. The captain remains at the display. Eyes sweep the clearing picture. He lets the room settle. Finally, he speaks. Accountability. Replies come ship by ship. Not ceremonial, not dramatic. All stations manned. Damage contained, 2 injured, no loss of combat capability. Each report precise, clean, meaningful. On the affected escort, the blast area is secured. A twisted antenna taped off, a sensor shrouded. Damage control teams move with practiced efficiency. Ship fully mission capable. That is the priority. Below deck, the injured sailors sit on metal benches, helmets off, testing shoulders, pressing ice packs. Quiet conversation, not about the missile, but how close it felt. A corpsman logs vitals. No dramatics, just confirmation. On the flight deck, pilots ease from their launch stance. Helmets off, gloves loosened. One aviator rests a hand on the intake, feeling the vibration fade. No one celebrates. A moment passes, almost a smile, then nothing. Inside the CIC, an operator rubs eyes, leans back. Another sips water, empties the bottle silently. Adrenaline lingers. It will for a while. This is the part that rarely makes it into summaries. Not fear, not relief, but controlled release. The captain breaks the quiet again. Maintain heightened watch. No one questions it. Heightened watch isn't panic. It's awareness without tension. Systems remain ready. Crews remain focused. The threat has passed, but responsibility hasn't. Posture stays disciplined. Escorts hold station. Sensors stay active. No one drifts into routine too early. Experience teaches one lesson clearly. The most dangerous assumption is that the hardest part is over. Minutes pass. 5, 10, nothing changes. The sea remains calm. Traffic drifts in the distance, unaware how close disruption came. The carrier strike group moves through it as if untouched. Inside the ships, the human cost is minimal but real. Bruises will fade, equipment will be replaced. The memory of proximity will linger far longer. Finally, the captain steps back from the display. He doesn't address the room. He doesn't need to. The message has already been delivered. Through posture, through discipline, through continuity. This was not flawless defense. It was human defense. Imperfect, adaptive, resilient. The sailors understand that distinction better than anyone. Watches rotate. Coffee appears quietly in places it wasn't before. A hand taps a console, twice, before moving on. A private acknowledgement of tension past. The engagement is over. Not because the system won, but because the people inside it held steady long enough for it to work. And that is what carries forward as the strike group continues into the Gulf. The event doesn't end when the last track disappears. It transitions inside the strike group. The after-action phase begins immediately, quietly. Systems pushed to their limits do not shut down. They recalibrate. Power levels normalize step by step. Sensors widen their sweep, then narrow again. Not scanning for what just happened, but for what might come next. This is not recovery. This is repositioning on the tactical plots. The formation subtly reshapes itself. Escorts widen, then tighten. Overlapping coverage shifts forward. Blind angles shrink. The geometry of defense is rewritten based on the lessons just learned. No announcement marks the change, but everyone feels it. Intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance assets move forward. Air patrols extend their range. Subsurface elements adjust, sliding into quieter waters to listen longer, see farther. From the outside, nothing looks aggressive. Everything is deliberate. The captain convenes a brief command exchange. Short, direct, technical. No speeches, no speculation, only facts. One escort sustained minor damage. 2 sailors injured but returned to duty. 1 sensor degraded and compensated. All mission objectives intact. Then the keyline, assume follow-on activity. The order sharpens, not raises, voices. Rules of engagement are reviewed, thresholds clarified, response timelines refined. The strike group will not wait to be surprised again. That is the shift. The carrier continues forward, unchanged in speed or heading. Around her, posture has evolved. Defensive layers sit slightly farther out. Reaction time is shorter. The system is faster to decide, not louder, not more visible. This is escalation control at sea, not through pursuit, not through immediate retaliation, but through making the next attempt harder than the last. Beyond the horizon, sensors pick up distant movement. Nothing hostile yet, nothing crossing a line. Logged, watched, not challenged. The message has already been delivered. The strike group absorbed a coordinated saturation attack. It took a glancing blow. It stayed intact. It stayed on mission. Then it adjusted. That adjustment is not for show. It is for endurance. No press release, no flags. To the outside world, this is routine transit, intentional. In modern naval operations, dominance is demonstrated quietly, repeatedly, until undeniable. Inside the CIC, analysts begin compiling the engagement timeline. Missile profiles, guidance behavior, decoy effectiveness, intercept timing, near-miss geometry, everything preserved. This data will travel farther than any missile. It will inform training, shape future deployments, and change the next engagement. The sailors feel it. They know where margins were thin. They know what held. That knowledge stays with them. Watches rotate. The strike group settles into a new rhythm. Not relaxed, not tense, but ready in a deeper, quieter way. The Gulf opens ahead, shipping lanes intersect, traffic thickens. The carrier and escorts move through it all without ceremony, indistinguishable from routine. But beneath the surface, posture is sharper, faster, less forgiving of error. The attack did not force a retreat. It forced an evolution. Missiles stopped. The strike group did not respond with spectacle. It responded with position, readiness, and control. As it continues forward into the Gulf, the message is no longer about what was intercepted. It is about what will not be allowed to happen next.